Harihi Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Om. So, we are in the second chapter of Bhagwat Gita, and we have so far completed 5 shlokas. Today we will be starting with the 6th shloka. न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः. So, in this shloka, Arjuna is expressing the grief that he has, his confusion that he has. Nachaitad, which translates to na cha etat. Na is nor, cha is and or also, etat is this. Vidmaha. Vidmaha is to know, vidya, right? That is the root for it. So vidmaha is we know. Neither do we know. We do not know about it. Katarat, which of, which is better. Naha gariyaha. Gariyaha is better. Naha is for us. Yadva, whether. Jayema, us conquering. Yadi, if. Va, or. Naha jayeyuhu, us being conquered, which is they conquering us. Yan eva, right? Yan eva hatva, right? Yan eva. Yan is those who, eva certainly, hatva by killing, na never, jijivi shamah, right? So we would not like to live. That is what is the context. Na jijivi shamah, would like to live, not live. That is the way that it comes. Te, all of them, avasthitaha, which is those who are present, those who have assembled, those who are situated in the battlefield. Pramukhe, in front of, dhartarashtraha, the sons of Dhritarashtra. So putting it into context, it will be like, also in this we do not know which is better for us, whether we conquer them or if they conquer us. What is this us? All of them from the army of Dhritarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra, who are assembled in the front, by killing whom certainly we would ourselves not want to live. So that is the expression that Arjuna is making here to Lord Krishna. The observation we mentioned about it in the last class, but we are going to touch upon it again now. In the first chapter, he always said all of them, right? He even listed out all the kinds of relationships that are associated with the people who are standing in front. But when he was prompted, when he was pushed by Lord Krishna in the second chapter, he revealed the intent from within his heart, which is Bhishma and Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya, towards whom he has a special love. But immediately after revealing it, he tries to hide back into the all of them now. So he started with Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya, and now he is rolling back to include all of them. A very, very important observation. This happens in us also. So for this shloka, we try to look at what is the kind of reflection that we need to have on our own life. The other thing that he is talking about is whether they win or we win. So he has come to a little bit of pragmatic sense. Me killing or us killing is the way that he was initially in the first chapter he was talking. Most of the time that was the focus, where Arjuna had the confidence in him saying that he will be killing them. He had not realized that even they can kill us. Right? So it is a war. In a war, anything can happen. And that realization is again presented in this shloka to say that I have the balance of mind, which is again important as an adhikari, as an Uttama Adhikaari, as a person who is able to grasp everything that is being taught to him, that is being told to him. That openness is also reflected in this space, where his balance of whether we win over them or they win over us comes into being. So from the reflection point of view, we need to look at the mindset that humans have. There is an inherent feeling in us to be on the side of dharma at all times. Try go talking to a thief. Try go talking to even a murderer. There will be a clear justification for their action that they will come out with. And that is the mindset of human being. What it tells us is the dharma, that which is right, doing that which is right, is known to everyone. It is not hidden. Right? But we, out of our own Ahambhava, of our own ego, and of our own ignorance, we try to establish we try to end up doing some adharma, but immediately knowing that we have committed the adharma, we try to go into the defensive of justifying the actions that we do. So the base rule is we know our pretensions, but as we grow older, our habits cloud this visibility. A child, when told that you are wrong, immediately realizes that the child is wrong. But as they grow, the resistance to being told they are wrong and justifications start building up. When this justification is building up in you, remember that you are on the wrong side. Not always. There are places where it could be the misunderstanding from another person. I'm not removing that as a possibility. But the bottom line is, when you are in doubt of whether you have done right or wrong, and you are trying to build on some justifications, most likely it is that you are on the path of what we call as adharma. I'm not saying legally right or wrong. What we determine as dharma and adharma, in the dharma adharma vivekam, we are slipping, is one thing that we can keep in our mind. We don't have to change ourselves. We don't have to, assume that we are wrong. Nothing like that. It is just a realization, and this information just be kept in the mind and allow it to cook. And as we go through Bhagwat Gita, there are many revelations which will help you to mold the way that you are thinking or the way that you are responding in your life. So that is the beauty of Bhagwat Gita. Realize in samsara, one is always in conflict between doing the right thing, which is what is dharma, and doing that which favors a personal emotional connection, emotional aspects. So I'll put it in a very simple way. I'm going to watch a game, right? A game in which my daughter is playing on the other side or in one side. There will be an inherent feeling in me to want the team of my daughter to win. Even if in case they are not playing good, I will try to come up with a justification saying the referee did this wrong, was incorrect, the ball was not inflated properly, or whatever it is. We will come up with some explanation, some justification in our mind. And that is what that personal emotional connection makes or brings in you. Overcoming that is what this Bhagavad Gita is about. Now, what is the reason? The seed is Ahambhava. Remember, Ahambhava is not Ahankar. Okay? There is a clear distinction between the two. Ahambhava is the association of I behind an action performed in this body. That association is called as Ahambhava. So you cannot be without that Ahambhava. Right? This Ahambhava will slowly manifest into Mamakaratvam, that this belongs to me. That belonging is the seed. That is the influence of Ahambhava. Right? We are going to overcome that. The way that we say is develop the Viveka, develop the intelligence in you, and realize that Ahambhava is part of a Sukshma Sharir. Just like I say my hand, it is my Ahambhava, which means they belong to me. If I have a car that belongs to me, or if I have a horse that belongs to me, do I want the horse or the car to control me, or should I control it? That is the Viveka. In other words, you cannot be without the Ahambhava. It is part of the body that you have, right? The Sukshma Sharir, the subtle body, not the physical body. This body is part of you. You cannot get rid of this body. The thing that we try to evolve and grow is to realize that this body belongs to me and I am in control of this body, be it Sukshma Sharir or even Karana Sharir or the Stula Sharir. And also realize that they are independent by themselves as well. We will talk about this in depth when we go into Bhagavad Gita at various places. So with this, we can move on to the next shloka. Shloka number 7. Karpanya dosho upahata svabhavah pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetah yat shreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. This is an important shloka. We will be chanting this shloka after the initial prayer shlokas that we do with every class going forward. It is again not done in all the traditions. In our traditions we follow it, and we will continue. We will have those three, right? Sadashiva Samarambham, then a prayer towards the greatness of Lord Krishna or Vishnu or Narayana, and this one where we in our heart surrender ourselves. Going into the shloka word by word. Karpanya doshaha. Karpanya. This is from the root karuna. Karuna is compassion. Remember that anything, even the amrit, if in case it goes above its limit, it is considered to have become a poison, vish. Similarly, karuna, the compassion, which is a very positive feeling, if in case it is overwhelming, it takes control of you, then remember it is a dosha, it is a disorder, it is a defect. Okay, so karpanya dosha, that I am having developed I have developed a defect called as karuna in me. Karuna in general is not a defect, but when it overwhelms, then it becomes a defect. Right? Upahata, being afflicted. Swabhavaha. Swabhavaha is a common word, one's own nature. Prichami, I am seeking, I am asking. Tvam, you. Dharma sammudaha. Now he is qualifying it further. Dharma is righteousness. Right? We have spoken about the concept called as dharma. Sanatana dharma, then dharma, adharma, vivekam, we split it, and then we see various kinds of swadharma, visesha dharma, and so on and so forth. We have gone into a lot of discussions about dharma. Sammudaha. Mudaha is a common word, which is foolishness. Here he says sammudaha. Some is totality, English some only, as simple as that. Sammudaha is total, in total, it's utter foolishness is what he is saying. Bewildered, perplexed are some of the English words that we see. An absolute fool I have become about the concept called as dharma. What has become so? The chetas, my intellect. The intellect is the ability to rationally and logically think. The chetas has become dharma sammudaha. Therefore, yat shreyaha, that which is good, syat, that which may be good for me, nishchitam, determined with no doubts, bruhi, tell, tat me, that to me. So he is seeking, tell me this. And what he says, shishyaha te aham shadhi. Very beautiful words. Shishyaha, as a student, as a disciple of yours. Te aham, I, shadhi, please instruct, give upadesh, mam, to me, tvam, unto you, prapannam, surrender. What a beautiful way that he communicates. My personal characteristics are being afflicted by the defect or disorder caused by the overwhelming compassion, which has lowered my spirit. My intellect, the ability to think, is confused. It has become a fool. About what? About the righteousness, the sense of determining that which is good or right and that which is not. So therefore, I am asking you or seeking from you to tell me or guide me with that which you determine confidently and that which may bring goodness to this confused intellect in me. I am surrendering unto you as your disciple. Kindly instruct me. This is how Arjuna is surrendering to Lord Krishna. Now you can think in terms of the greatness of Arjuna here. In the 11th chapter, when Bhagavan shows his, Vishwarupa, his true form of godliness, at that time Arjuna will tell that, hey, I have been calling you Sakha, I have been calling you, by name. I have never realized that you are a god. Right? So remember, he never thought he was a god at this point. But the way that he surrendered himself to a charioteer, a little elder perhaps, and of the same age group though. Right? So they both are of the same age group. And who is a charioteer? And he is the master. But to him, he surrenders. And in such a beautiful way, he surrenders. And that is the greatness about this shloka. And that is why we always chant this shloka before we start our class going forward. Because we want to develop this mind frame, this mental makeup of total surrender to the preaching that we are going to go through in a couple of classes from now, or maybe the next class. So, as I said, traditional importance is we will be chanting this. Analysis. Uttama Adhikaari. That is the analysis that we are going to do. Before I get into this, I want to share a small story. A very beautiful one. I think in one of the Vishnu Sahasranama classes I have shared it, in one of the Vishnu Sahasranama chanting that we do at home, I have shared it with the children. They were young then. Okay, the story goes like this, that there is a batch of students that a guru is about to recruit into his school, into the Gurukul, and as all the students are sitting in front of him, or all the prospective students are sitting in front of him, Guru says this: there used to live a sage in a cave, and he was considered to be very powerful in terms of his personality, in terms of his knowledge, in terms of his clarity of thought, right? He was considered to be awesome. And he has lived in the cage for a long time. And people used to come all the way from the cities and villages nearby to pay respect to this guru or to this sage. Now, once there will be a person, a diamond trader, he will take a very big piece of diamond and he will take it to the guru to offer it. Very many people, they will come with the fruits and some come with the food or whatever it is. People do visit him with things, and he takes this great diamond stone. So upon seeing it, the sage asks, what am I going to do with this stone? Right, so the diamond merchant says, this is a great diamond. It is worth several $1,000s or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right, so he says that it is very, very, and so he says, what is the use to me in this? And then he continues his normal discourse and chanting and whatever he does with people coming in, right? And after that, he will be ready to close the session, letting all those who have visited to go. So this diamond merchant comes to him and he says, so Swami, you won't take this? So again, the sage asks, what is the use of it to me? Then the diamond merchant will say, oh, in that case, should I take it back? He says, why, leave it here. This is all the story is. And now the guru, who is telling the story to the student, asks each of them to write what is the reason the guru asks the the sage asks the diamond merchant to leave the stone there. Right. So there are several, who wrote something like, oh, well, he has brought it, so let it be there. There were some who said, you know what, maybe he has already brought it. He can use it for doing welfare to so many other people. Right. With this money, he can do lots of things. There are some who wrote, you know what, this guy is a dongi. He is kind of a person who is only a cheater. He is not really, truly a sage. And there were a couple of students who had written, well, if the sage had said, yes, take it back, it would inherently imply that the sage is seeing a value in what he said is a stone. So for him, the stone is kept there, let it be there. Why disturb it? If somebody comes and takes it, they will take it. What is your problem? Your job was to bring it. And you brought it out of your love. And you did it. There are so much of things. I don't eat all the fruits that people bring or everything that they give. Right? So, what I can, I eat and I just continue. That's all it is going to be. What I do, I do. You don't have to, you don't have to take the burden of taking it back now that you have brought it. And at the same time, it is just a stone. That would be, if he is truly a sage, his attitude towards it. So then Guruji picks up the paper, reads out the name and says, those who said he is a dongi, you come here. Those who said that he can do a trade, you go in this place. Those who said that he was, wanting to do or basically do something else with it, be in the center lane. And those who said this, you come on this lane. And he said, the first group will go into the adharma kaksha, means the lower school or lower class. The one who said it can be transacted, etc. There you be in the middle one. And those who said that this should have been the mentality, you stay as the Uttama Adhikaari or in the supreme class. That classification, this is a story at the end of the day. The idea behind this story is for you to understand how to think. What is the positive way of thinking? And that is the one which will make you to be an Uttama Adhikaari. Coming into the analysis, an Uttama Adhikaari will have a clarity on the problem in hand. Swabhavaha karpanya dosha upahataha. Very clearly Arjuna says this. Not only that, chetaha or chetaha dharma sammudaha. My intellect or my ability to think is confused or becoming foolish. It is not that the person is foolish. Don't attribute a person to a characteristic. This is just the chetas at that point in time, right? It's kala, desa, vastu, bound by that, right? At that point in time, I am in this state. So very, very clearly, he understands the problem that he has and he is communicating it. The second step that a strong person who has got an amazing capabilities, who is like Arjuna, will do is approach the right guru. Who is the right guru? One on whom he has confidence, which is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna has been with him throughout. One who understands the situation. See, if I am a guru and I don't even understand what you are bringing the problem to me, then it is absolute stupidity on your part to have approached me, because I have not understood your problem. So how am I even going to recommend a solution to it? Then one who is knowledgeable. We will talk about this again in the later chapters, where what kind of guru we have to go to. And it comes from Upanishad, right? Mundaka Upanishad for that matter. I have quoted it here, I'm just seeing. Right, it is Pareekshya Lokaan Karma Chitaan Brahmano Nirvedamayat Nasti Akritah Kritena Tad Vijnanartham Sa Gurumevaabhigachet Samikpanihi Shrotriyan Brahmanishtham, which is the last two words. One who has heard it and personally learned it, that knowledge, plus one who is Brahmanishtha, which is one who has adopted that knowledge as a way of life. So those are the basic qualifications. So this also says, if Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, he is Uttama Guru. If he is a Shrotriyan, he is Madhyama Guru. If he is a Brahmanishtan, he is Adhama Guru. For example, he may be a Jnani, but if he has not heard it, if he has not listened to the Vedantic teaching by being with the Guru or with another Guru, then he is not considered to be an Uttama Guru. Because teaching requires us to follow a traditional practice, and that is why he is called as Acharya, Acharati iti Acharya. So a person who is an Acharya and is also a Brahmanishtan is a very, very good Guru. But if in case a person is only a Brahmanishtan, only a knowledgeable person, then he is not a good Guru, because he cannot guide you in the right path, the step by step way. That kramam is very, very important. That is the main detail that we get from this shloka. The third one is surrenders. Here he says, Shishyah te aham shadhi yat shreyah syat nishchitam. He says, you determine which is good for me. Very open, very clear. He is not asking what is to be done, or he is not telling you do this. He is not guiding the Guru. He is open to receiving from Guru. He is not asking Guru to clarify whether this war is justified or not. Don't you think that I am telling you very clearly, after killing them I don't even want to live. What is the fun in fighting the war? You tell me how is the fighting the war is good. He is not asking this. He is not prompting. Instead, he has realized that this is a problem and he has surrendered himself to the Guru, and that is another main characteristic of reaching out to a Guru. A very beautiful and an important shloka where we can do self-evaluation about our own selves in terms of whether we are being an Uttama Adhikaari. You are not assessing whether a Guru is good or bad. Guru is Guru, an Acharya is Acharya. An Acharya may be bad to you. That means don't go to him as a Guru. Right? So if a person is not fitting within the comfort profile of yours, then don't go. If you cannot surrender, then don't go. Find the person to whom you can surrender and go to that Guru. That is Uttama Adhikaari. And if you don't find one, then go for a Madhyama Adhikaari. Again, I'm not saying it means Madhyama Guru, right? Or Adhama Guru. Right? Anybody, somebody tell me something, that can also be done, which is absolutely fine. I'm not saying you should not go. But if you are an Uttama Adhikaari, our Shastra, particularly our tradition says, you don't go in search of the Guru. The Guru will be there for you. You will find the Guru with you. You will find it very easily. You will not have any trouble at all, is what our tradition says. He says that become a Uttama Adhikaari. That is the recommendation. Don't go with thinking that there is a magic that happens and another Guru shows up. Nothing like that. You become an Uttama Adhikaari, an Uttama Guru will be there with you. That is the main essence of this shloka. In the earlier mantra that we saw from Mundaka Upanishad, the word Samit Panihi is something that we can just touch upon. Samit are the dry twigs. Okay, basically when we do the Agnihotra etc., we don't break a tree or we don't break a branch. If you go to those big trees, you will see twigs have fallen on the floor and they will be dry. And those dry twigs are called as samit. Pani means hand. So holding the samit in the hand is the meaning of samit panihi. So the shloka is, the mantra is Pareekshya Lokaan Karma Chitaan Brahmano Nirvedamayat Nastya Krita Kritena Tad Vijnanartham Sa Gurumeva Abhigachet Samit Panihi. That is the word that we are looking at. It reflects one's readiness to accept the upadesha. The dry twigs will catch fire like this. That is the concept. It indicates the quickness with which the Sishya will grasp, like how the twigs catch fire. Now, it is further emphasized by the first lines, which is Pareekshya Lokaan Karma Chitaan. Right? Karma Chitaan, that which is full of action. Lokaan. Pareekshya. You should have done your own analysis as well. It is not like I don't know anything, I am blind, I am just going and I am getting things. Right? I have done the due diligence myself. That is what makes you that Brahman. Right? I have told you before also, the term Brahman in the Shastra doesn't relate to the birth at all. Here, one who examines the action-oriented world is a Brahman. So that is the way we must look at it as well. So the word Brahman is to say that he has developed Nirveda Mayat, a dispassion towards various attractions, and he has grown, matured himself. The maturity quotient is what is reflected in the term Brahman. Right? Having studied the context. Be an analyst of the situation yourself. Realize the difference between you and what you are, between what you want to be and what you are. It is not a situation that you are seeking. It is openness to accepting a help where you are suddenly stuck with some darkness. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. That is the objective that you should have when you are seeking a guru. It doesn't mean for everything you have to seek a guru. There are places where you have to seek a sakha. There are places where you have to seek your children, your wife, your uncles. Everything is fine. Seeking is not making a person a guru. Guru is when you are hit in a darkness where you are not able to find your path to navigate further. At that time, if you have become an Uttama Adhikaari, the Uttama Guru will be there right next to you. That is how our tradition emphasizes. Again, we always say that the objective is not having the Guru. The objective is becoming a Uttama Adhikaari. Okay, so a great lesson from this shloka. Shloka number 8. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad yachokamuchoshanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnamruddham rajyam suranamapi chadipatyam. So here, nahi prapashyami. Pashyami is see. Pra is a prakashena, that is the prefix. Right? Upasarga is the word that we use in Sanskrit for that. Na he is certainly, indeed, with an emphasis. Definitely not. Prapashyami. I am able to clearly see. Mama apanudyat. Right? Apanudyat is that which can drive away. What? My, mama. The implied is the sorrow or the vishadham that I am experiencing, the karpanya dosham that I am experiencing. I do not know how to get out of it. You understand the darkness that we are talking about? That is what this is. I understand where the darkness is and what I am not able to do. What is preventing me, or what kind of an ignorance is preventing me from proceeding to the next step. That is what here it is revealed. Yat shokam, that sorrow, that lamenting that he has been doing, uchoshanam. Right, this is the sense of drying up. Right, so like how the air dries it up, that is uchoshanam. Indriyanam. So what is getting dried up? My indriyas, which is both karmendriya and the jnanendriya. Right, my ability to see, basically the one that you can realize is in your mouth. The mouth gets dried up faster. Right, but that is what it means, where everything is getting dried up. I am not able to function efficiently. Avapya bhumau. Avapya, having obtained. Bhumau, on the earth. Asapatnam riddham. Asapatnam is that which has no competition, unrivaled. Unrivaled what? Riddham. Riddhi is prosperity. Rajyam, kingdom. Suranam api, of the devatas even. Cha adipatyam. Right, having a supremacy over that. Adipati means taking the control of it. So not only I rule this world, but also the Swargaloka. Even if in case I get this, I do not know what is going to dry up my shokam. So also, even after achieving supremacy or authority on the earth with a prosperous kingdom, without even a rivalry of the demigods, I do not certainly see that which can drive away my grief or lamentation or sorrow, which is drying up my sense organs, especially with reference to the mouth. That is what this shloka talks about. So, we will continue the adhikaratvam. Right? Personal inability is communicated here. I do not see nahi prapashyami is an emphasis that the problem is in his viveka. It is not in his knowledge. Remember that. You may be extremely well qualified. You may be the best in the field that you are. But when you are acting, that knowledge sometimes suddenly does not come handy to solve your problems. you are stuck. It doesn't mean you should not take any, you should not contemplate and explore and fight your way out. No, you should. That should be the first thing that we do. But when everything is lost and you are not able to do it, then it is a good idea to seek a guru. That is what is the clarity that he got here. I do not see is the emphasis which points out to the Viveka. Now the point of view is communicated, which is the loss of life is seen as greater when compared to victory. I don't mind my lifestyle, everything to be surrendered, to be let gone, when compared to victory over the people whom I love. The more important are Adhipatyam, being more than even the Devatas. Emphasis is exposing yourself with the line of thought which enables a guru to give the right guidance. There are commentaries that I have received when people have expressed their emotions, where नाटक है यार, नाटकी है, ओवर एक्ट कर रहा है, ओडी कर रहा है, this is enough, right? No, I think if a person is reaching you as a shishya, we should allow that. We should accept that emotional distress and let it be fully understood by you. Giving that true hearing is very, very important. Tradition, this is seen as an important shloka in establishing the adhikaratva. Alignment, having surrendered in the last shloka. True and appears so. But if it has been placed, we should inquire why. Right? So that kind of an analogy. So in the previous shloka, the Shishya Bhavam only establishes the situation, provided a general rule or observation, Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan. Right? So that is the way that he started in the shloka number 5. He provides what he is deliberating in his mind. Nacha etad vidmah kataranno gariyah. Right? Which is better, whether I win or not? That is the way that he goes in shloka number 6. In shloka number 7, he surrenders. Yatu shreyah syan nischitam bruhi. Right? That is in the 7th shloka, he surrenders. Now, qualifying the surrender requires declaring my openness. Nahi prapashyami. So, So in tradition, what we used to do was we used to chant both the 7th and the 8th shloka, but then it was taking longer duration, and especially in the tradition that I have learned, it is more like a guru chants and then we follow it and so on. So it became like only the 7th shloka, because there it is a beautiful words. The words of that shloka are so beautiful that we will adopt that, and we started doing it that way. So though there are places where both 7 and 8 are chanted, this is equally an important one for us to realize the kind of Shishya Bhavam, the kind of a listener mode that we should all develop. Right, so despite that, we will stick to the tradition and we will chant the 7th shloka going forward in our classes till we finish the Bhagwat Gita in chapter 18. So with this, we will take a pause today and we will go into the Q&As. We will start with Prabhakar, who is on the top. Hey Prabhakar.
Yeah. Can you? Yeah.
Yeah. Comments, questions?
No questions. You said we have to narrate one sloka
Yeah.
every day. So, are we going back to that sloka on every session note?
So you remember we start our class, right, which is with Sadashiva Samarambham. That is the way we do it. Next, we speak to the greatness of Lord Krishna. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim. Right? Yat kripa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. So there, what we are saying is, your kripa will make a person who is not able to speak, and who is not able to walk, who doesn't have the legs or the limbs, or he can even climb the mountains, is the way that shloka goes. That greatness is what we do as a prayer. Then we will surrender ourselves. So the third shloka will be introduced. Not that you have to chant it. If you chant it, well and good, or towards the end of the second chapter, third chapter, you must even start chanting it. So that shloka we will be chanting as a third one. कार्पण्यदोषो उपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यश्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. So this shloka we will tell in addition to the two shlokas that we have been telling before we start the class. Cool. There is one iPhone. I don't know whose it is. Is it Jyoti ji? Sham?
That might be me.
Oh, namaskar ji. Kya haal hai? Very, very glad to hear your
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah. No questions today, Nashji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Jyoti ji?
Namaste, Guruji. I have no questions, Guruji.
Thank you. Ravi Bhaiya, welcome back.
नमस्कार गुरुजी, आप कैसे हैं अंकल जी?
ईश्वर की कृपा भैया, अच्छा जा रहा है. आपका ट्रिप कैसा रहा?
बहुत बढ़िया था. थोड़ा सा बस दिक्कत हो गया, खांसी आप पकड़ ली. But other than that, it's all good.
Good. शादी ठीक से हुआ?
शादी बढ़िया था, सभी चीज बहुत बढ़िया था.
Superb. चलो, let us catch up.
Yeah, well, and I have no question. I'm very blessed to hear your voice again and all the upadesh again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And namaskar to all of them on the call here.
Wonderful. Sanjeshni ji, namaskar.
Namaskar, Guruji. It was a very nice session, very enlightening. I do have one question. You said that, you have to be an analysis of your situation, right? So if it's a very new beginner person, like, somebody who's just very naive, how does one prepare themselves to better, be better at analyzing some things?
By dropping the need to be a better analyst.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I'm not even joking, actually. It's a very serious, preaching from the tradition, actually. So long as you try to analyze, your ability to analyze falls down. Humans are naturally capable of analyzing. The problem arises when you are analyzing, and at the same place, say Ravi Bhaiya is also analyzing, and Ravi Bhaiya comes up with an idea or with some kind of a thought, and you think, oh man, maybe I'm a bad analyst. You totally forgot that the extent of analysis that you have done is the same as the extent of analysis that Ravi has done, except that the points that you have looked into has not been seen entirely by Ravi, and the points that Ravi has looked at, maybe you have not seen it entirely. And that is the normal thing in life. Just because you did not express something, to assume the other person has done more analysis and I should become a better analyst, is going to take you on a reverse path. Because instead of being an analyst, you will become a person who, looks into themselves to see, hey, what is it that I need to do, instead of doing it. Right? So, as a human being, we are all analysts. And when you drop this inhibition in you, you become the best of the analyst.
So in also in the sense that, like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm understanding that when you say the shloka is saying, surrender completely to Krishna, he will, when we drop our ego, that's when we completely surrender. And then if he will basically guide us through the rest of the path.
No, that would be the path of belief. When you are in the path of belief, then what you are saying is very correct. Right? For example, the Krishna conscious people or others may be telling this for the shloka. I have not read it, so I'm not qualified to even say it. From our tradition point of view, it is not surrendering to Krishna. It is surrendering to a guru.
Okay.
It can be anybody. It can be your grandson. It can be, your neighbor. Right? It can be anyone. And it is not related to a relationship of a guru and a shishya. Right? So, Gurumukh Hona, it's a different concept altogether. In this place, remover of the darkness is the guru, and that remover of the darkness will be of three types. And for the one whose darkness has to be removed, the shishya is also of the three types. When you become Uttama Adhikaari, then you will get an Uttama Guru for that situation. Today you will get somebody, tomorrow you will get somebody, right? And that is the way that aspect of Guru should be seen.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Surrendering to Lord Krishna, it is bhakti. We will talk about it from chapter 7 to chapter 12. Right? And that surrender has nothing to do with this. Okay, so one must be both. We will talk about it in a lot depth when we go into the deeper sections of Bhagwat Gita.
Okay. That, a lot of sense. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, with this, we will close our class today and connect again next Wednesday. Harihi Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.